I do, however, have some concerns. I'm concerned about class size, I'm concerned about band, I'm concerned about fine arts, things that make our students have fun in school. In the January board meeting, we were also shown what the 2018-2019 school schedule will look like in Giles. And I personally love that our kids will now have math, science, reading LA every day. Before I go any further, I want to address my concerns. I want people in this room to know that I am a middle school Spanish teacher. By saying that, I also want you to know that I'm very bothered by the fact that social studies will now be a block with PE and taught every other day, while Spanish will be taught for 5 days a week at grades 5 through 8. I'm asking the board and administrators to think about how we are expected to meet our HST and standards in 39 minutes every other day. I was told that social studies curriculum will be brought in that ELA block. Using ELA minutes to fulfill HST standards is not killing two birds with one stone. It is watering down and sacrificing both ELA and HST standard instructions. There is no way of teaching with integrity all of the ELA and HST standards with fewer minutes per week. Meanwhile, we're deciding that Spanish is more important. What is going to get my kids a good score on their SAT or in their future placements? I ask that you guys increase social studies minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. Constantinos.
My name is Gus Rapadas. The reason I wrote in tonight was because of the referendum that Penoyer is seeking for their school district. And as one of the teachers said earlier, that Norwich is a family, but we're not acting much like a family. This district tried a referendum to build a brand new school on a property a couple of years ago. That failed. Penoyer is seeking a referendum now. So we have 3 schools that serve solely Norwich, 2 different districts, 2 different administrations, all 3 schools in need of money. I think the time is to talk to District 79 Penoyer to consolidate, to make it not 3 deficits, but 1 deficit, and possibly build this $61 million school that we were looking for a couple of years ago throughout the whole village of Norwich, instead of the north side, the middle side, and the south side of Norwich. We have 1,500 kids divided up amongst 3 schools with 3 different operating expenses, 2 different administrations. I think we'd be better set in consolidating, building a better, safer school for the 21st century now, and minimizing the costs. Because if you impose a referendum, which we have to do, it's beyond the doubt now. Whoever doubts it is ignorant. There's no money left. There's no money left in District 80. District 79's out of money. Why not work together and build one big school that serves the entire village of Norwich, and the cost can be passed around through the entire village of Norwich, not a few thousand residents on this side for one school and a few thousand residents on the other side. I think we'd be much better served that way. Have a much better chance of passing a referendum if it serves the entire community at a lesser cost per household.
Thank you, Gus. That's all.
Would anyone else like to add their name onto the list of speakers?
I'm going to make a comment because I'm superintendent. I think everybody on this board should take a look around at our teachers. The people we have here are excellent, they're proficient, they're highly qualified, they have certifications, and they teach at grade levels that they should just be recognized. And no one's disagreeing with the teachers. We think you do an excellent job. We really do. We believe in each one of you. We leave our kids in the building and we don't look back because we know you're going to do an awesome job. We know they're going to be safe. We know they're going to be secure, even though there's elements outside that can affect that. And I think it's important that you know that. I think it's important that you know that. And so I think the board, and I'll speak on behalf of the board, the supermajority of that was stated tonight. We agree. If I was to put the board into a room and they were to write a script, it'd be similar, if not the same, of what you wrote tonight. It would be. There is no doubt in my mind. And we are a family. I believe it. Sometimes families have difficult times that they have to work through. And we're going to have differences of opinion. And I think that's one of the reasons we're going to sit down with the leadership of the association and we're going to talk. We're going to talk. And I'm hopeful we can come to a consensus. But I understand, the board understands the position of the association, and to the same extent, we have to be dutiful to our taxpayers. The taxpayers spoke. And it's not necessarily the people who access the building, let's be clear. There's a difference between who access the building and the power of the vote. Those are two different things. We know the families would agree with everything that was stated here. We know that. But the process, the election, is not catering to exactly what we know is best for our kids. That's an unequivocal truth. And I just want to make sure that you understand the board leaves their children, the board members that have kids or have had kids in their district or grandchildren in the building, they leave them in the building and they feel safe, they feel secure, they believe in you, they believe in you. What we have right now is a difference of opinion. That's it. And we're hopeful. We really are hopeful. Because what it comes down to, it's a budgetary issue. I inherited this. And I'm not making excuses. I inherited this. The supermajority of our budget is dedicated to salaries and benefits. That was recognized by Dr. Craig Schilling, who came and presented. He's a third party who works on behalf of the district to present. And that is why we're looking at that. That's why that was looked at and that was brought up. And there are a lot of sacrifices. This building, we have fire alarms in the 5th grade wing that need to be upgraded. We can't afford it. We've postponed it. Even though it was never recognized by West 40, year over year over year, when they did their audits, we need fire alarms. They have a phone system that's works on one phone at the district or the Giles office that we're literally limping through the year. And there are many other issues. So we have not only life safety issues and building issues, but we also have the educational side, and it's all being affected. We believe Spanish is important. We believe social studies is important. If I had my druthers, I'd go back in time and we'd leave it the way it is. However, we have to prove we're fiscally responsible. We do. And you know, I'm hopeful. I just want to make sure you understand. We believe in you. We really do. We don't want to move anybody. We want everybody to be exactly where they are. However, that's not the way it is, because we have qualified people that are going to be able to provide for your students in the way they know best, and that is being great teachers that are highly qualified, that have proven it through the state expectations, and like I said, we're hopeful. We're hopeful. And I just want to leave it at that.
Dr. O'Malley, may I please?
Sure.
She can speak, please.
My name is George Anna. I wish if everybody can sit in that classroom and teach 30, 35 kids. Every parent should do that in this town. They can care for the teachers. If this is the community, we have more teachers in this meeting than the community, it's going to be an issue. Have the community senior citizen, which they have no children, obviously. The other half, they think our school district is Taj Mahal compared to where they came from. And I'm not going to mention the territory of the world. Then you have a quarter of people that care about the school, the teacher, the board, and the well-being of their children. If I can afford to take my children to private school, I can afford it. But I'm here because one simple fact, Norwich is a great, great community. Talking about family and legacy, something good has to take place. I think that's a good suggestion. But the community need to get involved. This community got money. I mean, look at the BMW and Lexuses and all the stuff. Are you kidding me? Look at the mansions. Then they whip the link card at Viterra and Mariano's. And I'm suffering. 2 years ago, 44% of the students on state assistant. Are you kidding me? And we are all suffering. My children are suffering. We got social. And you are right, Ms. McCauley. Psychiatrists and social work is totally different things. The community need to pay. They need to get involved in the school district. Enough is enough. They got money for crying out loud. I mean, look at the purses they carry when they go pick up their kids. Look what they're wearing. But they have the nerve to cheat the system to get a link card and pay for the grocery. Believe me, I have ripped a lot of people's faces in Mariano's. You won't believe it. One day I'm going to get arrested, and I'm proud of it.
Don't get arrested.
But you can't. You can't support your community. We're not in a communist country. This is America. The people in this town need to help the teacher in the school district. End the story. Enough is enough. Thank you.
I'd like to say one comment. I'd personally like to get a copy of the speech that was written, because I think there was a connotation, at least in the background, that that the board was blaming the Teachers Association, and I don't remember ever having that thought or idea. Talking about family and community, I think that we do have to all work together, and it's very, very important to what that means, working together. Personally, and I don't want to speak for the rest of the board. They can speak, although we are together. But I am 110% happy to work with the entire community. And some of these ideas that we're discussing, I think it's very important that we think of this as working together. Because I asked some specific questions about this reading program, because my kids are in reading now, and specifically my son, I'm really interested in the way he's developing his reading skills. Very advanced, you know, and I'm very impressed. So, and I have a lot of trust in the teachers. Sometimes I walk into class to say hi, and I don't step out because I don't want to interrupt the teachers out of respect. So we do have to work together, and that's important. And I'm just in fear that we're starting to, there's a push and pull that we can avoid. So thank you.
We'd be happy to provide you a copy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming here tonight and preparing this. Thank you.